What's good? What's good? I am back. Like I said, we're gonna start banging these podcasts out every day of the week. To be honest with you, you might see them 2 times in a day, depending on if I got new topics and pretty much how I'm feeling. Don't forget my podcast, Paul Pickett Podcast, is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotions for your music, product, brand, or service, please check out promopalace.biz. Don't forget that I do go live on TikTok for every episode, and I pre-record for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Rumble, and then I would take that pre-recording and I would stream it live on Twitch and 2 of my Twitters as well. Don't forget the audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and much more. This podcast is also sponsored by New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. If you like dogs or cats and you like t-shirts and hoodies, check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. We also got apparel for your dogs to wear, like dog bandanas, and we got dog tags as well. For Shizzle, I got to shout out dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice, Dizzle on ice, dizzlebrand.com. Step into the future, do your Dizzle, and of course we got the Dizzle right here, as you see that mango flavor going all through it and whatnot. First things first, I got to get into some NBA scores. Milwaukee beat the New Orleans Pelicans like we expect anything else. Detroit beat the Spurs by 8 points, 117 to 116. Chicago Bulls beat the Washington Wizards 120 and 119. DeMar DeRozan once again hit another game-winning three on back-to-back games. DeRozan hits a game-winner. DeRozan is probably having the best year of his career. Him and Levine are both balling out. I mean, Levine put up 30 last night. So, Clippers stunned the Brooklyn Nets. There's no way the Clippers should have won last night. Kevin Durant and James Harden should not be losing to. I mean, Paul George didn't even play. Kawhi's still out. There's no excuse. And Denver crushed Houston, and Golden State came back to beat the Utah Jazz. Let me go over my Paul's power picks real quick. Oh man, this is really going to change. Number 1, Golden State Warriors. I mean, what more can I say, man? Hey, Klay Thompson just hit 27 straight threes in practice the other day. Uh-oh. Y'all in trouble, man. Klay Thompson hasn't played in 2 years. Klay Thompson wants to go down as one of the greatest players ever. He wants to go down as one of the greats. He wants more rings. The rings and things I bring about. Yeah, he wants more rings. Klay Thompson is a man on a mission. I guarantee it. When he comes back, he's going to be a man on a mission. He hasn't played meaningful basketball in 2 years. He's, man. The rest of the league better be scared, and that's not even counting Wiseman coming back. Because there's no way Klay's shooting was gonna go anywhere. He's probably laying in the bed shooting all day long, man. Probably just laying in bed just shooting. I mean, when I got hit by a car, I was literally in bed with the laptop working non-stop. Just working on the business, and that's why my business is so self-sustaining now, because grinding out. But number 1, Golden State. Number 2, Phoenix Suns. I mean, they're still consistently doing their thing. They won games without Booker, without Ayton. They're gonna be a tough out. They're gonna be a tough out playoff time. Number 3, this is where it gets interesting. Chicago Bulls. The Bulls, the Chicago Bulls are They're number one in the East right now. Lonzo is not even playing. Like, they got players in and out because of health and safety protocols. But you got Lonzo Ball, you got Zach LaVine, you got Vujacic, you got DeRozan, you got the White Mamba and Alex Caruso. They got Derrick Jones Jr. over there. Patrick Patterson's hurt, but still, when he comes back, they got Kobe White, former North Carolina Tar Heel, also leading scorer in North Carolina high school basketball history. Took out Jerry Stackhouse's record, if I'm not mistaken. They got some players, man. They got some players. They got dudes that could play defense, that could score. Chicago Bulls. We still got to see what they are playoff time, but I didn't expect them to be number one in the East at any point. I don't think nobody thought it was going to be that good coming in. All right, number 4, Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets. It's still number 2. Kyrie's coming back. He's only going to be playing half the games in part-time, which really that sets a precedent for basketball. We've never seen a NBA basketball player only play part-time. I've never seen a part-time athlete. I've never seen it. If you wanted to count Kawhi one year as a part-time athlete, the year Toronto won, because all the resting and whatnot, sitting them like they did, as they call it, the health management or whatever they want to call it. This is a new precedent. Like Kawhi was playing home and road games. We've never seen a player just come and play part-time and only play road games. In all due respect, the Nets are going to be better with Kyrie Irving than without. But, where does this land come playoff time? He's going to have to get vaccinated come playoff time. If not, this is going to be the worst move. That's the thing. This could be the worst move ever or the best move ever. Because the Nets was already took a stance no, we're not having no part-time player. Now the Nets are starting to come back down to earth. They realize that James Harden ain't what he was. They realize that they can't come out the East. They can't beat the Bucks. They might not even beat the Heat. They might not even beat the Bulls. They just lost to the Clippers without Paul George. And number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks are under the radar right now this year. I think everybody's forgetting right now that they're the champs. They're forgetting they're the champs. They're under the radar. They're come playoff time, Milwaukee Bucks is going to be my favorite to come out the East. As long as they're healthy, come playoff time, they're going to be my favorite to come out the East. Unless Kyrie Irving decides to get vaccinated and play the playoff games. But I don't know if I see that happening. Okay, NFL, there was no games. Let me go into my Sunday's picks. Okay, we got Philly versus Washington. Rolling with Philly. Philly's actually balling out right now. They got their identity, their offense, their run team. Philly's a run team. The Rams versus the Baltimore Ravens. It's a must-win for the Ravens, but I think the Ravens are they're on the decline right now. So I got the Rams. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Jets. Do I really gotta pick a team on that one? Come on. Tampa Bay all day. Miami Dolphins and Tennessee Titans. It's a must win for Miami. They're in the playoffs right now, I think. I don't know that they're going to beat Tennessee, though. So I'm going with Tennessee. Jacksonville and New England. New England probably still make the playoffs even if they lose this game. Then again, they might not. But I don't think there's no chance. I don't know, man. Like Trevor Lawrence is gonna want to come in there and outdo Mac Jones. I know that much. I'm going with Jacksonville for the upset. I don't know why. I just feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to want to come in there. They got Urban Myers out the way now. He's going to want to come in there and prove that he's better than Mac Jones. Raiders versus the Colts. Raiders are 8-7. The Colts are 9-6. Colts have been very impressive of late. I'm going with the Colts. The game of the week right here, the Chiefs versus the Bengals. Let me sip some of my juice on this. I mean, Joe Burrow did put up a 525 just recently. Joe Burrow like a man on a mission. I seen like a couple sports debaters. They actually got him top 5 in a quarterback list. Based on where the Chargers have went, the decline the Chargers have took, I don't think Justin Herbert can be over Joe Burrow right now. Joe Burrow is solely the reason why the Bengals are 9-6. Joe Burrow, I mean, his tough mentality is the reason they're. Kansas City been winning a lot of games straight. I'm going with the Bengals to win this one. I'm going with the Bengals. Giants and the Bears, who used to be my team in 1985 when I was like 6 years old. That's all I knew was the Bears. I mean, but the Bears have been looking like the bums since then. I mean, like, the Bears ain't been good for a long time. Giants, it's hard to, I don't know, man. I don't know who to pick on this. They both suck. I'm going to go with the Bears. Atlanta Falcons versus the Buffalo Bills. Atlanta actually started out very, very slow. They're 7-8 right now. I mean, they're actually close to 500. I got the Bills, though. Houston, Texans, and San Fran. No way the Texans beat San Fran. Denver versus the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers are 8-7 now. Chargers are supposed to be like 10-5 or something, man. They should literally be like 10-5. There's I don't know. I'm going with Chargers though. Carolina, New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans, Carolina, we suck. You know, Cam Newton talking about retiring. That might want to be a very good decision from Cam, being that we're going to be moving off from Sam Darnold already. In 1 year, we're going to be moving off of Sam Darnold. I guarantee. If they keep Sam Darnold, then, I mean, we'll be 5-10 again next year. Detroit versus Seattle. I'm going to Seattle. Dallas and Arizona. Oh, man, this is a good game. It's a must-win for Arizona. It's a must-win. I mean, they've been losing like 3 straight, if I'm not mistaken. I know they lost at least 2 straight. Like 2 or 3 straight. Dallas is looking hot. Arizona's looking cold. I'm going with Arizona. Minnesota, Green Bay. I'm going with Green Bay. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I'm going with Pittsburgh. And that's my picks for this week's games. And let me go over Paul's power picks right now for the NFL. Number 1, Green Bay, man. Green Bay has been my number 1 since I started these Paul's power picks. And they ain't lost since. I mean, they haven't, like, the needle has not moved down for Green Bay at all. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, if Aaron Rodgers is going to win a Super Bowl again, this is it, man. This might be his last great shot. I mean, he's been to 2 straight Eastern Conference, 2 straight NFC Conference champions, NFC championships. I mean, he's probably going to go to a 3rd easily. You know, Green Bay, number 1. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, number 1 team in the AFC. I mean, balling out. 8-game win streak. They win this next game, it'll be a 9-game win streak. People were beginning the season like, is Patrick Mahomes falling off? Is Kansas City done? You know, the dude didn't get a 10-year contract for nothing. I'm going to tell you that right now. Kansas City gave him a 10-year contract to, like, what is it, 10 years, like $500 million or whatever it was. I mean, you don't give a dude that contract like that for no reason. Excuse me. Whew. So, yeah, number 1, Green Bay. Number 2, Kansas City. Number 3, I'm going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, they got some injuries, but they still got 3 Pro Bowlers, receivers, and Tom Brady. And when Leonard Fournette comes back, they should be good. Number 4, Dallas Cowboys. I mean, ever since they made it in my Paul's Power Picks, they pretty much stayed there. I mean, they're on a 4-game win streak, you know, and they need to keep winning going into the playoffs. This is Dallas's best shot since the Tony Romo to Dez Bryant catch that the refs got all wrong. And number 5, I'm going with Los Angeles Rams. The Rams. I mean, what can I say, man? They're 11-4, top of the division, 4 straight wins. It's Super Bowl bust for them. If any team is all in more than there's no team all in more than the Rams. Once they got Von Miller and Odell Beckham, they were just all in more than anybody. And they got Max Stafford on the offseason to start the beginning of the year. So that's Paul's Power Picks. Number 1, Green Bay. Number 2, Kansas City. Number 3, Cowboys. Number 3, the Buccaneers. Number 4, Cowboys. And number 5, the Rams. All right, so let me get into a couple topics. First, let me get into this topic about I seen on the Pat McCaffrey show where he was talking about. Actually, I didn't see it on the Pat McCaffrey show. They were talking about the Pat McCaffrey show when Aaron Rodgers was on there, and they had something that he had said where he said, if science can't be questioned, then it's not science anymore. It's propaganda. That's true, man. I mean, science is not the know-all, be-all for the world. They don't, like, science goes off so many theories, and theories are really just opinions and views, you know. Even though Don Lemon thinks opinions and views are different, they're not. They're the same damn thing. That's all really a theory is. A theory is an opinion or a view on something, you know, like the Big Bang Theory. We have it's just a theory. There's no proof that that's how life started or anything of that nature. There's the beginning of life, the very first life or lives that were on Earth, it's all theory. We have no hard evidence and hard facts whatsoever. So if you can't question science, then what are we talking about here? I totally agree with him. If you can't question science, then it's just propaganda now. That's all it is. I question a lot about science. A lot. You know, because to me, science hasn't come up with a common sense, plausible explanation on how life started. Like the Bible says, Adam and Eve were first. All right. Well, from what I know, based off of science, Adam and Eve couldn't have been first, because Adam and Eve, according to the Bible, started out old enough to have intercourse and produce kids, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't start out as babies. Adam and Eve, Adam started out as a man, a grown man, and they made a grown woman from Adam. And science completely tells us that woman didn't come from man, that man came from woman. Woman gave birth to man. See, like, the Bible is so backwards. It says man came first and God created woman from man. But no, the first human had to be conceived from a female. Even that's the thing. Even if people want to say man came from monkey, and say the first man was birthed inside of a monkey, and the monkey gave birth to a human-like species, because say there was some artificial insemination done, right? Well, the first man, like, would have had to been protected. For even if it was we don't even know if man was technically first. It could have been a woman. We don't know. We technically don't know. It could have been a woman first. So say it was the first woman. A woman was first. It doesn't matter, man or woman. Regardless to if it was a one man or one woman, whatever created them, gave life to them, gave birth to them, had to stay there and nourish and protect them for a awful long time. You got people nowadays in society that can't even take care of themselves once they turn 18. You mean to tell me the first man or woman just took care of themselves when they were like 18 years old, No. Like, they didn't. Come here, puppy. So my dog wants to interrupt the podcast. So, yeah, there's no way that the first man or woman, like, somebody had to stay with them for an awful long time. The first man or woman was dumber than a bag of bricks. They didn't even know how to get food. They didn't even know how to do anything. Hey, get down. So, yeah, yes, we had to question science. Because science is not hard, cold facts. It's not hard, cold facts. Go. It is not it's not cold, hard facts. If you can't question science no more, it's propaganda. And another thing I saw on this is they were talking about Aaron Rodgers and Joe Rogan had different treatments than just taking a vaccination and getting boosters. They went to doctors that gave them different treatments. And why are we not exploring these other treatments, these other options, where doctors are basically giving them a bunch of different pills to take? And pills usually have more organic, like, you can make more organic stuff in pills than like there's nothing organic in a vaccine. It's all chemicals. It's all chemicals and drugs, and there's nothing organic about it. Pills, I've had pills that were totally organic, that have nothing but cayenne pepper and stuff like that in there. Basil, cayenne pepper, which is all organic. You know what I'm saying? So apparently they don't want these other options and other treatments to get out. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe Rogan apparently took some stuff. And apparently Aaron Rodgers is saying that the NFL is actually now exploring these Joe Rogan options, and whatnot. These Aaron Rodgers-like options, because like I said in the last podcast, the number one form of vaccination for any virus is natural immunity. I repeat, natural immunity. You sticking me with a needle is not more effective than natural immunity. Anybody thinks otherwise is dumber than a bag of bricks. I mean, that's common sense. That is common sense. Common knowledge that natural immunity is the number one form of eliminating viruses, or colds, or flus. Natural immunity is number one, which means you just fighting it off or using organic things, not drugs. Drugs are the number two option. Yes, if natural immunity doesn't work, then maybe you need to use vaccine. And another thing I want to talk about is People, they out here, people are such hypocrites on the left. The whole left, when Donald Trump wasn't president, was fuck Donald Trump, screw Donald Trump. Y'all wished the man dead. Y'all wish somebody would assassinate the man. That's fact. The whole left wished that he got assassinated. They were praying and begging to their make believe gods, the imaginary gods, for it to happen. And now that he comes out and says he got vaccinated, y'all like, yes, yes, big up to Donald Trump, big up to Trump. He said he got vaccinated. He said he got the booster. Well, he's old as shit. He's old. He's an old fart. And guess what? If you're old, yes, you probably need the vaccination and the booster. But if you're my age, you walk every day, you haven't been sick in 3 years, not even a common cold, not sniffles, not a strep throat, nothing. Sinuses, and that's it. That's not, I'm in North Carolina, man. We got freaking pollen everywhere. Pollen is falling out everywhere. Everybody's got bad allergies and sinuses in North Carolina. That doesn't count. I've not been sick in 3 years. Why would I need somebody stick me with a needle? You know? It's just, natural immunity, man. Natural immunity, herd immunity. That's the day. We're not going to get past this by everybody getting vaccinated. You get over viruses by herd immunity. Just the average person being immune to it, being healthy. And that's another thing. America, we're the most unhealthy country on the planet besides like South America, because all that unhealthy, spicy food they eating down there. We are the most unhealthy. We're probably even way more unhealthier than South America, because all we eat is burgers and fries. Burgers, fries, steaks, fried pork chops, fried chicken sandwiches, fried fish. We frying everything. Yeah, so we're super unhealthy anyways. We're the most obese country on the planet. I repeat, the most obese country on the planet. And people could sit there and talk about body shaming, fat people or whatnot. It's unhealthy. I don't have to body shame you. It's not healthy. I'm getting rolls. I'm getting a gut. I'm ashamed. When you start getting rolls and guts, if you're not ashamed, then something is wrong. I mean, if you think it's healthy and sexy, I can tell you there's nothing sexy about a ton of rolls. There's nothing sexy about it. Nothing sexy. Not saying I wouldn't have sex with a fat girl, because I have. But would I sit there and lie to her and call her a dime piece, act like she's Beyonce? Hell no. Hell no. I'm not in the business of lying. But yeah, if science can't be questioned, then it's not science no more. It's propaganda. Aaron Rodgers is right. And the fact that Joe Rogan and Aaron Rodgers and other people are doing other things, like Joe Rogan got COVID and he didn't get a vaccination. His doctor prescribed other things. Why are we not exploring these other options? Probably because, then they can't have the monopoly on making billions of dollars off of the vaccine. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. It's all about money. It's all about making money off of the vaccination. They need us all They need us all get vaccinated so they can make money off all of us. All right, we'll talk about this other topic. This topic right here is probably going to be offensive, but oh well. I seen this video where the black conservative was talking about non-binary teacher confronted by a confused kid. So I had to really look up what non-binary meant. I'm confused. Screw the kid being confused. I'm confused. I'm totally confused. Like with these fairy tale made up words and with definitions that are not even real. So apparently non-binary is being neither sex. well, I'm with the kid. I'm confused. The kid's confused. The teacher is confused. And this is the problem that people have with people on the left. Y'all try to come with these views that are not even real. They're not even real. They're not even actual reality. They are fairy tales. There's no such thing as a person who has no sex. There's no such thing. There's 3 sexes on this planet, and this is the problem. This is the problem that people on the right have with people on the left with this stuff right here. And just so you know, I'm independent. I'm in the middle. Never voted Trump. Never voted Biden. I voted Barack Obama, and yes, I got swindled out my vote. There is male, there's female, and there's hermaphrodite. That's it. You're either born a male, you're born a female, or you're born a hermaphrodite. And for those who don't know, hermaphrodite means you're born with both sexes. It doesn't mean you're born with 0 sexes. Like, we're all born something. And look, if a person wants to identify with another sex, so be it. Identify with another sex. The problem people on the right and in the middle have is you don't get to tell us that we had to call you by your specified pronouns. If you want to change your name, it's like when Bruce Jenner wants to change his name to Kylie Jenner. Okay, we'll call you Kylie Jenner. But I won't call you a woman because you're still a man. This is the thing. This idea that you're going to make people change their view on facts. You don't get to tell people to dictate that people have to change their views on facts. Because this is all opinion, man. Like, a man could become a woman and a woman become a man. That's an opinion. That's not a fact. There is no fact of that. Until a woman can grow a penis and a man somebody born a man can give birth, which will never happen in my lifetime. It will never happen in my lifetime. I guarantee that. A woman is not growing a penis no time in my lifetime. And probably will never grow a penis. You can identify with what you want to identify with. Nobody's saying that you can't identify with. What we're saying is you don't get to tell us and dictate what we believe. What we know is truth, fact. You don't get to dictate opinions as fact. That's the problem with this whole non-binary thing and this whole transgender thing. There's no facts. It's just opinions and views. You don't get to dictate opinions as facts. And the fact of the matter is, you're either born a male, you're either born a female, or you're born a hermaphrodite. Nobody is born with 0 sex. Nobody is born as a non-woman and a non-man. You're either a male or a female. If you decide to transition and, later, that's on you. If you decide that you identify with this, but this is the thing, like I said, I identify with something I'm not, is open up the floodgates for people to identify as different races. Because I've seen it. People that are white saying they identify with Asian, even though Asian is technically Caucasian. Because what makes up a Caucasian is the bone structure, and what makes up the Negroid is the bone structure. And Asians and Hispanics are technically Caucasians of color. Basically, they're technically Caucasians of color, which is crazy that people don't even know their own facts. But yeah, I'm confused. I'm confused with this non-binary thing. You're not man and you're not a woman. So you're a zebra. You're a porcupine. You're a cucumber. You're a orange. What are you? You're an apple. You're a tree. I mean, you're a cockroach. You're a mosquito. You're a snake. I mean, I don't know what you are when you say you're not male or female. You're a frog. You're a frog. You got to be a frog because frogs frogs can change sex. I think frog is the only thing on the planet that can actually change its sex. A frog can actually change its sex, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I think I'm totally wrong. But humans are not frogs. We're not amphibians. You know, we can't breathe underwater like frogs. We can't. You know, we're just not. Yeah, it's just that's the thing. Everybody is confused with this non-binary thing because you're either one or the other or both. You're not neither. So I'm with the kid. I'm confused. He's confused. The freaking teacher is confused because there's no such thing. That's fairy tales. It's some fairy tale, Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss, Marvel made up imaginary BS. All right, let me get into this last topic. I've seen where 94% of UK universities are censoring people and censorship from the government and social media in general. Okay. All right. Before I get started, hit that click now, subscribe button, like, share, comment. This whole censorship ordeal is bogus. It's bullshit. Because their whole stance is that anytime they're trying to censor people, they're trying to censor hate speech. There's no such thing. No such thing as hate speech. Because what these people defining as a hate speech is just speech they hate. Just because you don't like what I say does not make it hate speech. Just because you don't agree with what I say does not make it hate speech. You know, it doesn't. And that's the thing. When the KKK says go back to Africa, that would be classified as hate speech. When I sit there and I say, hey, I would never ever agree with the non-binary term, that's not hate speech. That's you hating the fact that you can't pawn opinion on me as fact. And that's all censorship is about nowadays. It's not about censoring people because they're saying hateful remarks. And even then, it's freedom of speech. People can say whatever the fuck they want to say to whoever the hell they want to say it to. And yeah, when I watched this video, this female was talking about consequences of speech. Well, she was saying the consequences of speech should be censorship. No, that should never be the consequences of speech. The consequences of speech should be like if I walk up and I call somebody the N-word, a black guy to the N-word, the consequences should be, yes, I'm probably going to get knocked the fuck out. And I deserve to. That's the consequences of speech. When I walk up to Shaquille O'Neal, my whole 5'5" of my 150 self, and I walk up to big old Shaq Daddy, Shaq Diesel, and I say, you know what, man, go fuck yourself. Point to his face and I go, fuck yourself. And he picks me up and he chokeslams me. That's the consequences of speech. But you sitting there trying to censor and ban people from speaking, period, is never going to be the consequences of speech. First of all, I looked it up. There's only 150 nations that have free speech. Really, only maybe 30, 40 countries total that they say you got free speech. But technically, when you look at a lot of these countries, they don't even got free speech. Like, apparently Russia's got free speech. Bullshit. I guarantee let somebody a Russian publicly come out and start talking shit about Putin and see how free their speech is. You know? And America, like, they're definitely trying to do the same thing here. I mean, I've seen people like AOC and politicians on social media, people go at them and call them names, and then they want to try to send people, the authorities, to their house. Look, man, I mean, social media is going to be the spot where people are going to go in on you more than anything. And if you got such a thin skin that you spaz out over the first person on social media calling you out, then you don't need to be on social media in the first fucking place. Thin-skinned people don't belong on social media. There's no place for you on social media when you got thin skin. Take your ass off of social media. I mean, like I could post something on social media that I will post something sometimes that I know people are gonna go in on. That I know people that's gonna piss a bunch of people off. And do I sit back and sit there and be like, fuck you motherfuckers for talking shit to me? For me, was when I clearly posted something that I know you gonna get pissed about, or people will get pissed about, and not even a large amount of people. I just know there's a portion of people out there that'll get pissed off of it. So I'll post it anyways because it's probably 9 times out of 10 a fact and strongly how I feel. So I'll post it, they'll get pissed, and I don't sit there and get mad at every single person who claps back. No, I sit there and typically laugh at them getting in their emotions like I thought they would because they don't like what I got to say. And this is the thing, if you don't like what I got to say, don't follow me on social media. Don't tune into my podcast. You know, none of that. If you don't like what I have to say. I mean, if I don't like what people have to say, I don't sit there and cry, bitch, and complain about, did you hear what he said? I can't believe this shit. No. I might call them out on their bullshit and keep it moving, and that's it. I ain't going to sit there and get in my emotions about it, you know, over words, man. You know, you want me to get emotional, you got to put hands on me. But words, like, they're just words. People choose to let words stress them out and make them cry and get all emotional and, you know. Like, yeah, so this whole idea of censorship is really about people it ain't about censoring bigotry and hate speech, as they say. It's about censoring speech that they hate, which they hate anything that goes against what their views are. You know, that's the thing with the left, the far, far left. You know, you can agree with them on 99% of the things. And as soon as you disagree with them on 1% of the things, all hell breaks loose. You're the enemy. You know, you're the problem. And that's the thing, man. Like, politics is in a bad place right now. We definitely need another party. We definitely need another political party. We definitely need to stop having these old geezers in politics. We definitely need politics to stop adding people to their campaign trail just because they're getting pressure to do it. Like, if you're going to add somebody as your vice president, you know, make sure they actually can do a good job as vice president. Don't just add somebody as vice president because these far left radical people are pressured you to add a woman and a woman of color. I mean, if you were to add a woman and a woman of color, I mean, you should have been adding Michelle Obama. It should have been like Michelle Obama, if anything. I think if I was to vote, I think that would be the number one woman of color I would vote for on the Democratic side. It would be like, it might even be the number one woman I would vote for, because I did vote for a husband. I did vote for a husband, so you know, if she ran, I might as well finish the trifecta and vote for her. But I would never vote for Hillary Clinton. I would never vote for Kamala Harris. I wouldn't vote for AOC in a million years. You know, she out there talking about people are mad because they can't date her. I think a man would go mad if he did date AOC. A man would literally go crazy. I'm putting it on. I'm gonna go ahead and say now, AOC would never ever get married. Nobody's gonna marry AOC. Nobody in a right mind would marry AOC. A complete idiot, a jackass, a moron, somebody dumping in a bag of bricks is the only person that would marry AOC. And don't get me wrong, she's very beautiful, very attractive. But you could be the most beautiful woman on the outside and be the ugliest bitch on the inside. And that's what AOC is. She's one of the ugliest women on the inside. Yeah, she's cute as hell on the outside. Cute as hell. You know? I mean, would I have sex with her? Yeah, because men will have sex with a woman we hate. Well, a man will have sex with a woman he hates. Women will never have sex with a man they hate. And that's another thing. Like, women will never understand a man to the fullest, because y'all are such the complete opposite. Y'all bring emotions in every damn thing. We would literally have sex with a woman we hate. A man would have sex with a woman that's his enemy. If he's attracted to her, trust me. I mean, you know, we're men. We'll hump anything. But yeah, the censorship thing, it's bogus. It's just all about censoring one view. It's censoring people who don't agree with your view or against your view. It's censoring people so there's only one view. And even if you censor people from speaking, that doesn't mean that they're just going to change their views. That means that doesn't mean you're going to be able to censor their views. And it's not good for politics when one view is trying to censor the other. I mean, because all due respect, the Republicans are not trying to censor nobody. Anybody that says the Republicans are out here trying to censor people, it's horseshit. It's bullshit. It's lies. The Democrats are the only ones out here trying to censor people in society. These far left radicals are the only ones trying to censor people in society. Nobody on the right is trying to censor nobody. Just because we don't agree with your views doesn't mean we're gonna stop you from saying them. No, nobody's stopping you from having your views on the right. It's just the left. And for y'all people that vote Democrat and support this, y'all don't even understand that unless you fully agree with what these people in the far left radical, you're their enemy too. They're going to censor you too. They're going to shut you down too. They try to control your views too and your ideologies, and that's another way that you know how we're not all equal, because we all got all these different views and ideas and cultures. All cultures are all different. I mean, one of the main things that separates cultures is the foods. Look at Italians, man, it's pasta everything. Look at Asians, it's rice everything. Hispanics, I mean, freaking pepper. They eat peppers for breakfast. Peppers and eggs for breakfast. Of course, so does Italians, but, American culture and Asian culture and Russians, we're not eating no peppers and eggs. UK, they're not eating peppers and eggs. You know what I'm saying? They're not. Arabics aren't really eating peppers and eggs. I don't think either. I could be wrong. Even Arabics are like they eat a lot of that, lot of lot of bread, lot of bread. I would say naan bread is like one of their main culture things. They're taking naan bread and dipping it in some kind of guacamole stuff. You know, like none of us are really equal, man. You know, yes, we should have equal opportunity as long as we're equally going to do the job. We're going to work equally hard. That's another thing. Another thing of equal opportunity is you have to equally work hard as the next man. If you're not equally working hard as the next man, then there's no equal opportunity. That's part of equal opportunity. You got to equally work hard. You got to equally take the job seriously. If you don't take the job as serious as me, then no, you don't get the same opportunity as me. Because I'm taking my work more serious than you. That means I'm working harder than you. See, that's the thing. Equality doesn't just come from the place of everybody should get the same job just cause. No. Are you qualified? Are you going to work hard? Are you going to work, and are you going to work harder than the next man? That's really how it works. Or as hard. If you're going to work, you're not going to work as hard as the next man or harder. No, you don't get equal opportunity. Because you're not even taking it serious. That's the thing. People got to realize equal opportunity also comes from a place of hard work and taking the job serious, not taking the job for granted. Like all these Americans that take these jobs for granted. Like, Americans are the worst of crying about equal opportunity because they sit there and I see Americans complain about us illegal immigrants coming in and taking jobs, but they're only taking the jobs that Americans think they're too good to work. But that's not how equal opportunity works. Equal opportunity works that if you want this job, the same job that I am going for, then you got to be willing to work as hard as me or harder. If not, you have no business talking about equal opportunity whatsoever. If you were taking your job for granted. And I'm going to tell you right now, more than half the people in society take their jobs for granted. More than half the people in society have not even tried to accomplish a single legitimate goal in life as far as achieving financial success, but they take their jobs for granted. Most people in society work a job and don't know what they're working for. When you're only working for a paycheck, then that's all you will ever be working for. Since day one, when I worked a job, I wasn't working for a paycheck. I was working to invest my paycheck. And that's the difference between most people in society. Most people just working to pay the bills and pay rent. Well, guess what? That's all you're going to make money for, is to pay the bills and pay rent. Because you're not setting no real high standards or setting no bar. Ever since day one, I was working to invest my paycheck, not to pay rent and bills. But yeah, the censorship, it ain't gonna work, because before America, there was no such thing as freedom of speech. Just so y'all know, before America, you could get your head chopped off, your feet chopped off, your head chopped off for just thinking you could say anything anywhere. You couldn't come, like if you criticized the king and the king heard about it back before American times, they could just have somebody go lock your ass up or just kill you. No second thought about it. Ever since America, that's changed. That's changed. We tell the president to go fuck himself. on live TV. We say fuck the president on live television. You know, at a rally or whatever. You know, we criticize everybody in America publicly if we feel they need to be criticized. We don't bite our tongues. We don't hold back nothing. You know, we're so far out there of expression and you know, like there wouldn't even be no music business probably if there wasn't freedom of speech. If there was no freedom of speech, there would be no music business. Y'all do know that, right? I mean, because people like Luke had to fight against, he had to go to Supreme Court and fight against the government who was trying to suppress and censor his music because Luke was very, very, very filthy. Luke was the king of sexual triple X-rated hip hop, porno hip hop. He was the king. But him rapping about sex was no worse than gangster rappers rapping about shooting and killing and robbing people and selling drugs. Those things are far worse. Sex, that's the thing. Sex is part of life, man. It's part of nature. This idea that they were trying to suppress sexual content in the first place is so freaking bogus. It's just, I mean, suppressing nudity, suppressing sexual content. No, man. I mean, come on. We're born nude. We're born because of sex. I mean, it's a part of reproduction. How you going to suppress reproduction? Even though they're trying to suppress it nowadays. You know, they definitely are trying to suppress it nowadays. When I seen this video where this woman was saying, since men are, I guess men don't want to be fathers no more, that women shouldn't give birth to men no more. They should abort all men. And actually, I think she only really meant, I think she was talking about black men, which is even more prejudice, you know. Like, this idea that men are just not wanting to be fathers, that's not really the total truth. Part of the truth is that these women are quick to break up their families and their homes faster than men. You know, this is the thing. A woman gets caught cheating on a man doesn't, it isn't 9 times out of 10 a man is going to automatically file for divorce. No, that's not true. Soon as a man cheats, a woman is not 10 times out of 10 is filing for divorce. The women are the ones breaking up these family structures in these homes, not the men. You know why? Because men, we have a saying. We understand that it's cheaper to keep her. Plus, we're men. You know, it's like my good friend Corinne Keys said, men look at relationship, we look at our wife like our main course meal, like that's our steak and potatoes. But after we have steak and potatoes, we want a slice of cheesecake on the side. And that's, you know, your mistress or the chick you cheat with. But this is the thing. Women, a man, like I said before, a man can literally have sex with a woman he hates. So a man can have sex with a woman and have no emotional attachment whatsoever. And as soon as the wife finds out, she's just ready to break up the family when technically he's the only woman that you have an emotional attachment. He has a, like, technically the wife is the only woman he has emotional attachment to. Like, women are the ones breaking up the houses. They're kicking the men out. As soon as a man gets caught cheating, they don't even take the. This is the thing. Women never take into account the feelings of the kids. As soon as a man cheats, it's all about their feelings and their feelings only. And this is the problem I have with that. As soon as a man and a woman have a child, your feelings don't mean shit anymore. Your individual feelings don't mean shit anymore. It's all about the kid now. It's all about sacrificing your selfish feelings for the sake of your child. But most women won't do that. As soon as a man cheats, they're just quick to break up the family structure, and they want to blame the men all the time. Men don't want to be fathers. Just because we cheat on a woman does not mean we don't want to be a father to our child. It just means we want a little bit of cheesecake after we have our steak and potatoes. Or it means that we don't have an emotional connection to the mother no more. And just because a man doesn't have an emotional connection to the mother anymore doesn't give the woman the right to just keep the kid away from the man because her feelings are hurt. Just because your feelings are hurt doesn't give you the right to ruin the kid's life by breaking up a family structure. Because I can tell you right now, man, I've been alone my whole life. My father committed suicide. I was 5 years old. My mother, she was physically there, but she wasn't mentally, emotionally there. She sold me out for another man who, soon as he acted like he wanted to be my father for a week of my life, as soon as he said, I do, he literally didn't want nothing to do with being my father. Nothing to do with being a father figure to me. And he was a terrible father to his two daughters, my sisters at first. He also cheated on my mom with a woman in El Salvador, which I used to blame the woman and I used to blame him. But the more I view it and I look at it, I have to blame my mom. Because I just told you she wasn't there for me mentally and emotionally. You think she was there for her husband mentally and emotionally? No, she wasn't. It's her fault he cheated. Because this is the thing. These women act like they're just they're the perfect wife. If you know, like they're in every aspect of a man's life that they're supposed to be. And if you're not, then guess what? Somebody's gonna fill that void. You know? My mom and my stepdad, like my mom is antisocial. Like, how can an antisocial person be in a relationship? Relationships, the number one thing in a relationship is communication. Honest communication. If you don't have honest communication, relationships don't last. You know? And if you don't have communication, period, relationships don't last. And if no communication from day one, the relationship is over from day one. As soon as you get married. My stepdad and my mom's relationship was over from day one. Because she was an antisocial woman that was just physically there. She didn't know how to be there mentally and emotionally. And as a parent, that's your job, to be there physically, mentally, and emotionally. Just because you put food on the table or clothes on my back doesn't mean you've done your job. You haven't even done about 33% of your job. You're still missing 66% of your job requirements. The same thing with being a wife and a husband. You know, if you're just physically there, you've only done 33% of your job. If we haven't had a decent conversation, then yeah, there's somebody's not doing their job, you know. But yeah, the censorship BS, it's all about censoring speech. It's not about censoring hate speech and bigotry. It's about people on the far left censoring speech that they hate because it doesn't align with their views. And at the end of the day, you really can't censor hate speech anyways, because people can call people all types of names in a public setting if they want to. And yes, somebody can assault you if you call them names, and you know, if you insult them, they can assault you. That's the consequences. But the consequences should never be suppressing free speech. The consequences should be, you call me to a honky to my face, I punch you in your mouth. But it doesn't mean that I try to suppress you and prevent you from calling me a honky again. No, I don't get to do that. If you call me a honky and I punch you in the mouth, I don't get to say, well, we got to stop him from using the honky word altogether. No, I don't get to do that because there's a thing called freedom of speech. And even without these amendments, it's your voice. I mean, it's your voice. It's your mouth. It's your body. It's your life. Once again, you should still be allowed to call me a honky if you want to call me a honky. But I should also be allowed to punch you in the mouth if I want to punch you in the mouth. You know? But I should never have the right to suppress somebody from calling me a honky, a cracker. Charlemagne uses mayonnaise mambo all the time. There's probably a lot of white people that get offended to that. I find it pretty funny. Mayonnaise mambos. I mean, I think it's kind of funny when you think about it. You know, should I be allowed to suppress him from saying mayonnaise mambos? Because if people are considering using the N-word a hate speech, then mayonnaise mambo could be a hate speech. But it's not a hate speech. It's just speech. It's just speech that some people might find offensive. But if you find mayonnaise mambos offensive, you're probably a racist white dude anyways. You're probably super racist anyways. If you find that offensive. Because I don't find it offensive. I find it funny. I don't even if you call me a cracker and a honky to my face. I mean, I necessarily wouldn't punch you. I'd be like, okay. I've called myself a cracker and a honky before. The honky of hip hop. I'm a honky of hip hop, man. I've said in my rhyme, man. I'm cracker / rapper / computer hacker. Why would I get offended? I mean, I'm not a hypocrite. I don't live off of double standards, It's like my black friends, if I was to actually say the Nigga word around them, they wouldn't get offended. You know why? Because they understand that it'd be a double standard in hypocrisy, because African Americans have glorified the word themselves and made it cool themselves. That's the thing. Like, you think white people came up with the word honky and cracker and white bread and mayonnaise mammals? No, we didn't come up with that word. But we sure as hell didn't run around and make, cool term out of it and start calling each other honkies and crackers. Because that would be kind of hypocritical and a double standard as far as I'm concerned. To me, I think it's such a double standard of hypocrisy that black people call themselves the N-word all day, but as soon as a white person uses it, you want to freak out. First of all, we invented the word. So now a person can't, use something they invented. Okay. But I don't know. It's just such a double standard to me. I mean, you don't see white people running around calling themselves honkies and crackers all day long. And that's why we don't get offended too much either, because, I mean, you can't. You really can't. It's just a word. Get over it. And if I was to get offended, it would be such a hypocritical double standard. And that's just one of the main things the main two problems I have with African American culture is I have a problem with any black man that prays to a white Jesus. Now, let me rephrase that. I don't have a problem with them. I don't have any respect for a black man who prays to a white Jesus. I'm not praying to a white Jesus. So why the hell should they? I have that's one of the biggest problems with America today. I don't think that African Americans can totally move forward in America until they stop pretty much praying to the white Jesus. That's why I agree with Malcolm X over Martin Luther King Jr., because Martin Luther King Jr. prayed to a white Jesus and Malcolm X didn't. And I totally agree with them. Like, even if there was a Jesus, he sure as hell wasn't white. He wasn't white. I mean, where where Jesus would have been located at, there was no white men. There wasn't no white European men in this area. Jesus would either be Arabic or African. Either one, if there was a Jesus. And even Islam, I think they're wrong too. They're all wrong, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, pray to a white Jesus. Nah, that's a no. And I can't respect a black man who prays to a white Jesus. None of my African American friends pray to a white Jesus whatsoever. And they couldn't be part of my circle if they did. I don't pray to a white Jesus, But yep, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast, sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. The online marketing promotions. Check us out. If you're a dog lover, a cat lover, check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. Also, for Shizzle, I got to shout out dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice. Do your dizzle. Step into the future, dizzlebrand.com. Got my bottle right here. And once again, I'm out. This is episode 90. Where we at? 96. 4 more. We're going to do the press release. And we're going to do an advertising campaign and whatnot.